video, a vitamin so powerful at clearing uremic toxins that just 250 milligrams of it has been used to reverse CKD. Catherine here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and today we will see how you can reverse the decline of your kidney function by stopping the toxins that are responsible for said decline. Yeah, today we're talking about detoxifiers, but not those crappy cleanses you buy on Amazon. Today's video is all about the detoxifiers that are actually supported by science. Yeah, some detoxifiers actually work. I'll give you a few examples. Science says that a few teaspoons a day of sodium bicarbonate can literally reduce the chance that a stage 3 or 4 patient ends up on dialysis by 80%. 80%, guys! Sounds like something that works, right? And a different detoxifier, sevelamer carbonate, has been used in several patients with advanced CKD to stop the decline of kidney function for almost a decade. And if that's not enough to convince you that some detoxifiers do what they promise, of course, there is the vitamin that can be used to reverse CKD. That's our number one for today. Don't miss it. Because what is clear is that if you stop the toxins that are damaging your kidneys, you can improve. Yeah, beating kidney disease is all about getting rid of toxins. But here's the thing, you need to know exactly what you are trying to detoxify and how. So let's see immediately what the 7 worst kidney toxins are and how to get rid of them. Our number 7 for today is trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. TMAO is a chemical compound that we get mostly from red meat and other animal products, which is known to promote arterial calcification. And get it, TMAO is even dangerous in the general population. Yeah, not just in CKD patients like most kidney toxins. And this makes it basically the bane of carnivore influencers. By the way, if you have never heard about carnivore influencers, I'm talking about those guys who say we evolved from wolves but cry like babies when you mention TMAO.
Yet again, debunking this myth of TMAO once more. If anyone says they are a, quote, expert on TMAO, you know they are full of bullshit.
Whoa there, buddy. Save that energy for your next colonoscopy. You'll probably need it scheduled monthly with all that red meat. Anyway, TMAO is the kryptonite of these influencers, and not just metaphorically. Now, we also know this molecule is associated with CKD, as in TMAO levels are usually higher as kidney function declines. Not good. So now the question is, how do we detoxify TMAO effectively in order to protect our arteries and kidneys? Well, there are 3 ways we can do that. First of all, with allicin from garlic. Recent studies found that allicin doesn't just reduce TMAO production in the gut, it may even decrease the risk for atherosclerosis. And by the way, garlic is amazing at protecting the kidneys. I often recommend it to people who need to lower their blood pressure. But how do you take garlic correctly? Well, try my recipe. This is a combination of natural ingredients that will make garlic even more powerful while reducing the possible side effects. But remember to monitor your blood pressure. Allicin is a powerful compound when it comes to blood pressure. The other detoxifier that works for reducing TMAO production is resveratrol, aka the compound that made everyone pretend wine was healthy for like 5 years. Anyway, you can also get this antioxidant from black grapes, berries, cocoa, and from supplements. Now, I don't generally recommend resveratrol at the high doses you find in supplements, so my advice here is to stick to foods rich in antioxidants. And as I was saying, what these detoxifiers do is reducing the production of TMAO from the protein you are digesting, which also implies that the levels for this dangerous toxin can be hugely decreased by starting a low-protein, plant-based diet. However, today, my video won't be 20 minutes of me telling you to put down the steak and eat some salad. Nope. Instead, I will share with you what the most effective detoxifiers for each toxin are and how to use them. Because guys, here's the thing about toxins. Most people, even doctors, consider them just a tiny detail, just a technicality to keep an eye on and to retest in a few months. However, there are more and more reports of patients drastically improving their kidney function when that small detail is finally taken into account. So if your goal is to get the results we have seen in the intro, patients drastically improving their kidney function with the use of the right detoxifier, I can help. I offer one-on-one consultations, fully personalized and created to help you get the results you want quick. This is a science-backed approach that's actually proved to be working with real patients. So if you want to know more about talking with me one-on-one, or if you are ready to start improving, send me an email at catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com or click the link in the description. Okay guys, time for our number 6. Let's move on to a more painful toxin. Let's talk about uric acid. Now, uric acid is a bit of an outlier today because it's one of the few toxins that comes with actual symptoms. This includes severe pain in the big toe and other joints, a condition called gout. Now, gout has been associated with excess meat consumption for centuries, literally. But here's what a modern carnivore influencer says about it when he discovers the symptoms of this disease.
I'm not having excess uric acid. There's something else going on. Now,
thank you, Paul Saladino. Always very insightful. Anyway, how do we detoxify this dangerous core? Well, there are 3 ways to do this. First of all, with a natural remedy, tart cherry extract. These cherries are the enemy number 1 of gout, says science, because they contain a combination of anthocyanins and other flavonoids that are known to inhibit xanthine oxidase, the enzyme responsible for uric acid production. And studies say that combining cherries in any form with allopurinol reduces gout flares by a whopping 75%. I mean, 75%? That's better odds than your insurance actually covering something useful. And I usually recommend tart cherry extract instead of just cherry. You should be able to see a recommended dose in my slide. Now, the first line treatment for gout is allopurinol, a prescription you can get from your doctor, and that can really make a difference here. But of course, even more effective is avoiding foods rich in purines, the precursor to uric acid. But of course, even more effective is avoiding foods rich in purines, the precursor to uric acid. Foods such as meat, seafood, and alcoholic beverages should be avoided if gout is a concern. Okay, let's move on. Toxin number 5. Let's talk about nitrogenous waste or urea. Urea sounds like urine, right? This is a breakdown product of protein metabolism and it's excreted in the urine. It's one of the most dangerous kidney toxins because when it builds up, it causes the symptoms of advanced CKD, fatigue, confusion, nausea, and so on. It should always be monitored in your lab reports. It's indicated as BUN or BUN or blood urea nitrogen. But the question is, how do we improve this level? Well, first of all, with water. If you don't have a water restriction, the more you drink, the more you pee, right? And more urine made means less urea in the body. Of course, this doesn't apply for patients in the advanced stages, but I still have an ace up my sleeve for them. Something that can make a difference here is the use of prebiotic fiber. Because, your gut bacteria need to eat too, right? And apparently, they are the only ones doing their job around here. When it comes to fiber for kidney health, acacia fiber is the best choice because it doesn't need much water to be taken and it's known to help with gut health, decreasing the production of toxins. Another mechanism in which this supplement can help is by actually binding to toxins in the gut. The results can be very noticeable with some studies reporting reduction of more than 10% in BUN just by adding a few grams a day of fiber. But the interesting fact about fiber is that these benefits seem to scale with those, and there are end-stage patients that have been able to avoid dialysis by taking large amounts of acacia fiber. And there are end-stage patients that have been able to avoid dialysis by taking large amounts of acacia fiber. So if you want to reduce BUN, drink more water and add acacia fiber. Now, the third way of getting rid of this byproduct of protein metabolism is, surprisingly enough, by reducing protein intake. And I know what you are thinking now, but you said this wasn't going to be another video about cutting protein. I know, but try to make a video about kidney toxins without mentioning protein. Go on, do it. You can't. It's like trying to make a video about water without mentioning wet or discussing American healthcare without crying. Some things are just inevitable, like death, taxes, and me telling you to eat less bacon. Anyway, let's move on. Time for our number 4 for today. We are in the big league now, and the next toxin doesn't just turn your arteries into stone like TMAO or your joints into a bag of broken glass like uric acid. Nope. Our number 4 for today is a toxin so dangerous it can literally melt your bones and muscles away. I'm talking about excess acid in your blood or metabolic acidosis. And that's quite the escalation here. From TMAO's calcification, con job, uric acid's joint jabbing fun, to this skeletal apocalypse. And I can just imagine how bad number 1 is going to be at this point. Does it make you explode like a piñata filled with regret and unpaid medical bills? Does it turn you into a walking WebMD article? Let's just hope it's not a toxin that resurrects your dead relatives just to lecture you on why you shouldn't listen about cutting protein in the first place. Anyway, let's talk about metabolic acidosis. But I won't focus too much on the cutting protein part of it, even if protein is exactly where all this acid is coming from. Nope, I want to focus on the solution here. And there are 2 things you can do to detoxify excess acid from your body. First of all, sodium bicarbonate, which is one of the most powerful detoxifiers for kidney health. No doubt about it. Because you see, sodium bicarbonate is simply put a base, a substance that neutralizes acid. We prescribe it to CKD patients when metabolic acidosis is present, and well, it works. It can seriously help normalize those numbers, and it can protect your bones, your muscles, and your kidneys from the danger of having too much acid going around. However, sodium bicarbonate comes with its own side effect. It contains some sodium, so don't overdo it with the bicarbonate. Make sure your doctor is watching your levels and prescribing accordingly. Now, something else you can do to prevent the acid from devouring your body is making sure you are including as many alkaline foods as possible in your diet. You know, stuff such as bell peppers, arugula, zucchini, cauliflower, eggplant. They are all great and low in potassium. So stock up on bell peppers and bicarb. Your bones will thank you even if your taste buds file for divorce. Sarcasm aside, it's better than letting acidosis turn you into a floppy mess. Trust me. Now, time for our number 3, a toxin so scary, if you say its name loudly 3 times, a nephrologist will materialize and start chasing you with a bottle of diuretics. Number 3 is p-cresyl sulfate. Now, p-cresyl sulfate is a toxin that's produced when proteins ferment in the gut. It won't cause any Cronenbergian horror, but it can for sure shorten your lifespan by several years by causing endothelial or leukocyte dysfunction. It also has pro-inflammatory and hepatotoxic effects. Researchers have started to call it the danger from within. Yeah, I wish I was joking. Anyway, animal-based foods have way more protein, and this protein produces way more p-cresyl sulfate than plant-based foods. So yeah, veggies are, as usual, the first thing to consider here. But let's talk detoxifiers. The sworn enemy of this kidney toxin is, I kid you not, bacteria. Good bacteria, like those from a renal probiotic, specifically Bifidobacterium longum and Lactobacillus acidophilus, seem to be among the most effective probiotic strains to fight this dangerous toxin. It's almost like these bacteria feed on p-cresyl sulfate, protecting your kidneys. And of course, acacia fiber is also useful here. So yeah, consider a renal probiotic and cutting protein intake if you don't like the idea of discovering that the danger from within isn't your negative self-talk, but literally toxic waste marinating in your intestines like the world's worst kombucha. Anyway, what could be even worse than the danger from within? Well, our kidney toxin number 2 for today is indoxyl sulfate. Now, indoxyl sulfate is the overachiever of kidney toxins. It won't just block bone and muscle formation while causing brain and heart problems. It will also make CKD progression inevitable by blocking the healing ability of kidney cells. Yeah, a terrifying toxin. It's a bit like that time the ancient Romans decided to sow the earth of Carthage to make sure nothing would ever grow again there. Now, to make things worse, indoxyl sulfate is protein bound, which means even dialysis can't remove it well. And of course, this toxin comes from the metabolism of tryptophan, an amino acid you get mostly from animal-based foods. Now, if you don't think indoxyl sulfate is that scary, well, let's hear what Paul Saladino said after finding out about this toxin.
But after a year and a half, I quit the carnivore diet. In this video, I'm going to tell you...
Oh, that was, well, unexpected. Anyway, how do we detox this kidney killer toxin other than doing the exact opposite of what carnivore influencers say? Well, there are a couple of detoxifiers that can be used here. One is called AST-120. This is a medication, a carbon-based absorbent doctors in Japan and Korea prescribe to kidney patients. Not the easiest thing to find here. Something else you can actually find, and that also helps with indoxyl sulfate, is acacia fiber. Acacia fiber again! Actually, acacia fiber is strongly supported as a way to reduce many uremic toxins including indoxyl sulfate, p-cresyl sulfate, nitrogen, and even uric acid. So yeah, if you are going to start just one supplement after watching this video, make it acacia fiber. Because I mean, since most kidney toxins are gut-derived toxins, it makes only sense that whatever helps the gut work better can help reducing the amount of toxins as well. So there you have it. The answer to literally every kidney toxin is apparently tree sap powder. Next time someone asks me for life advice, I'm just going to whisper acacia fiber and walk away mysteriously. Okay guys, time for our number one for today. This substance may not be as toxic as indoxyl sulfate, gram per gram. I mean, not a lot of stuff is, but it can be even more dangerous because we usually get in contact with a bigger amount of this toxin on a daily basis. And well, our number one has been directly linked to increased mortality in people with kidney disease. Of course, our number one is phosphorus. Now, luckily enough, we do have actual medicine to stop it. Binders such as calcium carbonate or sevelamer carbonate. Following a renal diet also really helps. But for some patients, this is not enough, which is a problem because this toxin can literally stop your heart. But as I was saying in the intro, there is a vitamin that can be used to get rid of this most dangerous toxin, niacinamide. Niacinamide, a form of vitamin B3 taken in the dose you should be seeing on screen right now. A recent study tested it on 26 patients in combination with standard treatment with incredible results, as we can see. And that's not all. In a different case report, it was actually used to completely stop the progression of kidney disease in a patient. He went from stage 5 back to stage 2 just by taking some niacinamide and sodium bicarbonate. Now, if this doesn't show you how powerful the right detoxifier can be, I don't know what will. And if you want to see more success stories, my video up here is for you, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Ciao! Arrivederci!